Hey, I'm Liam Gusti from Melbourne, Australia, 21 years old, and just had our first trip to Team Lakay.
And my name is Joshua Riley. I was born in the Philippines, but I've moved to Australia. I grew up there, and this is our first trip to Team Lakay, and I'm 28 years old.
And I'm Justin, I'm from Team Lakay, and we're going to be doing the interview with these guys from Australia. So first things first, I just want to ask is, how did you learn about Team Lakay? Because for you, you're Filipino, right?
Yes.
But for you, you're half Indonesian.
Mm-hmm.
So how were you able to know about Team Lakay?
So I mainly found out through him, but I always saw the One Championship highlights. The boys with the red shorts always spinning, backing people across the ring, and yeah, pretty much I knew about them, and then Josh kind of talked to me about them. Told me who's who and stuff, and
Introduce them to you?
yeah, and then I really started to watch them more and become interested, try to come and travel here, train here.
How was you?
Well, for me, because I'm Filipino, I've always kept an eye out for them, but it's honestly because of One Championship. And, coming from Australia, One Championship is a very big promotion there, right? So, and especially seeing them, how well they do, I've always been interested. I've wanted to come for a long time. But I've known for them for a while, but One Championship is the platform that really made them bigger, that got the whole world to see them, right?
You took notice, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are your bases? Like for MMA, you have like a base sport or base martial art. For Team Lakay, a lot of the athletes, like the pioneers here in the back, their first or their base is wushu. Then they transition to MMA and just learn a lot, like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
How about for you guys?
So our head coach for MMA is also the head coach for freestyle wrestling in Australia. So our base derives from freestyle wrestling training, freestyle wrestling techniques, and we've worked ways to use that into our MMA game.
The same for you?
Yeah, it's the same for us. Our team, our gym back home has always been heavily involved in the freestyle wrestling competitions because, like as Liam said, our coach he was the national wrestling coach for Australia, so we've always had a huge emphasis on wrestling. So I would say that's probably our base, right? Like everyone in our team, wrestling.
So yeah, you said your base is wrestling, and I think you said it to us back when we were having lunch just a couple of days back. That you said you guys are actually national champions in freestyle wrestling.
Yes, yeah. So for me, I'm actually freestyle and Greco-Roman national champion. And I also went to the 2017 World Championships, represented Australia in Kazakhstan, finished 12th place, which is one of the highest finishing, and also one of the first Australians to finish by pin in one of the matches in the world stage, which is a huge accomplishment. But
in 2019 I won the 65 kilogram junior freestyle wrestling national title. That's
nice. It's just a lot of the people, like a lot of the talk even way before with Team Lakay stuff, we don't have grounding. So I just want to ask this: because you've rolled with the guys here, so how are they as opposed to what the other people in the comment section of social media and YouTube are saying?
They have grounding.
No, it's definitely a huge shock. Back home, as we've said, our base is wrestling, right? So our team is known for their grappling. And coming here, I didn't really listen too much to the comments. Like I understood that they compete at the world level, so everyone is good, right? So I wasn't that shocked, but to come here and actually feel it, because I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and a lot of these guys don't even have belts. They give me such a hard time, right? But I knew that, but feeling it is a whole nother thing,
Yeah. We said they everyone welcomed us with open arms and tight chokes.
like a lot of the guys here are just friendly. They're gonna welcome you, but yeah, they're gonna choke you out.
Yeah, that's right.
At the same time. And then your gym is actually one of the top gyms in Australia, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Can you introduce your gym to us?
So our gym is called Mat Masters Academy. We're based in Melbourne, more specifically in Oakleigh in Melbourne, and yes, we are the #1 wrestling team in the country at the moment. Like as an MMA gym, as far as it goes, and we've got quite a few professional fighters and top level amateur fighters who are coming up the ranks. So a lot of exciting things coming from our team.
Because I've been talking to the guys that you've rolled with, you sparred with, and one of the things that Coach Julio said, the boxing coach for the team, is that it's like I think he told you, right? Like you were one of the fastest growing athletes during that span, that week of the span, and I've talked to him in our native language, and he said, you're a lefty, and in the way that you move is improving a lot more than you do. Actually, that's what he said. And then the guys are actually talking about you because you have a lot of the diversity of your techniques so broad that they actually love rolling with you because you have a lot of those techniques. So that's what they said. But what about you guys? What can you say about the trainers and the athletes here?
For me, I think if you're willing to learn, right, and you don't want to take any shortcuts, and you want to show up every day, and you listen to what they have to say and watch what they have to show you, I think you can learn a lot. You know? And that's the whole reason for coming here. We come here and willing to learn, willing to take in everything they've got to offer. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we face when we are rolling with these guys is the fitness. Everyone here has a world level fitness. Our first couple of days here, we weren't used to the altitude, so breathing was very, very, very hard, and me and Josh were looking at each other like, oh my god, and everyone around us was fresh.
And that's what Coach Mark said to us, that when he observes us training with the other guys, he can see that technically we understand how it works and the timing and everything is there, but just the fitness is where we get left behind, to tell you the truth. You know, it's these guys are as fresh in the last round as they are in the first, which is what matters. You know, everyone starts strong, everyone's good at the start, but finishing strong is more important than anything. That's what it's the main thing he's told us.
And when I first came in here, the very first thing that scared me is actually Coach Stackel. Just when you guys are rolling, like after you have a break after the round, right? And you always step out of the mats and go drink and have a break. He stays on the mat and just sits there for the entire training. Like he's not drinking water or any of that. Like it scares me, man. Like, what the hell is happening?
I was actually telling Liam the first time I met Jay and I sparred with him and I rolled with him, I was telling him that he was the most intimidating guy that I've met here, because everything he says, you know, he meant it. You know, like he'll say things like, if you stop, you're gonna get killed. You know, and it's like his mindset is so strong, and I can see why he's a world champion, why he's become a world champion. You know, his mindset, his mentality is completely different. You know,
and I think that's what really differentiates what the world champion is. The mentality. And that's one thing that we talked about with Jeremiah, who's also a foreign fighter, who's half Filipino, that I can ask him, like, what's the biggest difference between the other gyms that he's been into and this one? And he said that everyone moves like they're in a fight. Right? Like, I think that's what Coach says every time, like, work to finish. Because if you move like you're just training the drills and you're not really trying to do it all, give it all, your muscles are going to get stiff during the match. I think that's what he meant that way. I think that's the biggest difference when it comes to training here. But what's your biggest takeaway from training here, actually? Just the biggest thing.
My biggest takeaway is just exactly what you've said, that mindset of always working to finish. These guys train in such a way where I feel like nothing shocks them in the fight, right? Like they put themselves in every position possible when they're training, so that when they get to the fight, they're prepared for anything, you know, mentally and physically. nothing bothers them, you know, and that's the biggest takeaway that I'm definitely going to try and keep for myself. It's just whatever you do 100%, so that when you go to the fight, you're exactly the same. You know, it's not like you train easy and then you take it all easy and then in the fight you can't get it done, right? So that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway would be, so I always knew conditioning was king,
Yeah.
but seeing real strong conditioning and facing it consistently round after round, it brings up my cardio as well.
Mhm.
And I like in the span we've been here, only 2 weeks, I can feel like a huge benefit in my game, because like when you're tired, it makes a fool out of you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's just that confidence too, right?
Yeah.
Bringing in that level of conditioning. You can't help but be confident, you know, and that's what I see when these guys, the way they carry themselves just in the gym, because they know that they give it all. When it comes to the fights, they're having a great time. You know?
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of our athletes have is the confidence stepping at the cage or in the ring. Like, we train for this thing. Right?
Yes.
So again, you have 2 sessions left, right? This
Yes.
evening and then tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow
So
morning, yeah.
I think we can look at the camera and just want to ask you what do you want to say to the guys here? Just like a final message for the guys before coming back.
For me, you know, coming into Team Lakay, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was definitely really anxious because I understand what the level is, but I'm really happy with how welcoming everyone is. Like, I didn't feel out of place or I didn't feel any type of way, but just that they were happy to have us and they were eager to let us learn from them as well. So we really appreciate it. And I was talking with Liam, we've already planned when to come back, and when we come back we're definitely going to stay for a lot longer, because me personally, I love it here and I want to keep coming back and experience the Team Lakay experience.
And I love it too. Before we came, me and Josh were making jokes that we'd get spinning back kicked off the mountain. But training with you guys especially, everyone was so friendly and we're so grateful and privileged to have met you guys and been able to learn things from you, and hopefully you might have learned a couple of things from us too. And we can't wait to come back. We'll be back, and we'll be back for longer.
Right? Okay.
Hi, this is Lito the Thunder Kid the Diwang. For more Team Lakay stories, click subscribe. Pa! Hoo!